Get nerdy with me. Get nerdy with me. All I really need for you to do is just please.
I get so.
All right, welcome back to the podcast, and we are doing something different. We are putting the three of us together. Myself, I'm Aaron.
I'm Chris.
I'm James.
And this is a interesting
Sweet.
conflagration of three podcast hosts.
I was outside enjoying my Slurpee. They tased me and dragged me in here. I couldn't dodge. I was fat rolling at the time because I was wearing heavy armor. I was above my weight limit.
I don't have a response to that because that's pretty hilarious.
Oh,
Yeah, we have tasers here on the podcast. So I think you've broken Chris.
You're welcome.
That was so funny, man.
Anyway, so today we have taken the
I'm
two.
now trapped in the cutscene. Help! I can't skip. It's the first time watching it.
Oh my goodness, out of control.
Here we go.
Okay, so we're gonna get this started eventually. So we are taking two podcasts. We are taking the podcast Nerds by Screenlight, and we are combining it with the County Gamers. And we just finished a conversation about phones, and James was outside, and I let him in the building, and I said, "Hey, what do you want to talk about?" And he's like, "Oh, you guys."
I prefer my narrative.
I reject your reality and insert my own.
Yeah.
Okay, good talk. So James was saying, "Hey, have you guys played Elden Ring?" And both of us lit up and said, "Oh my gosh, that would be exciting. We should totally talk about that."
Yeah.
And James was like, "Maybe," and I was like, "Yes, you are." And he was like, "What?" I was like, "Yes." So we assisted him in finding a seat and a microphone.
Oh, yes.
And there you have it. That's
I
where
didn't have Havel's ring yet. I was still fat rolling.
I don't know what that means, but okay. I'm going to turn you down because you are super loud.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, because that mic is more sensitive.
I would say, yeah, this mic does seem more sensitive than the other.
Yeah, there you go. You have the power. So,
Fight the power.
fight the man, damn the man, all those other things. Okay, so Elden Ring.
Yep.
You have a history with it.
You know, well, I have a history of Souls games. Not so much Elden Ring, but Souls games, because I love them all.
So walk us. So how many Souls games are there? Because we've always been trying to figure that out.
Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne counts because it's kind of the same company, and they did the same thing, but they changed things up and made it more like Cthulhu-esque in nature instead of being what they're doing with like the demon, like the normal fantasy stuff, tropes they do in the other thing. And then Elden Ring.
Okay.
Oh, and there's Sekiro, which is the same kind of thing.
Yeah, Sekiro died twice.
Set in
is it feudal?
ancient Japan, feudal Japan.
Yeah.
The Sengoku period.
yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
So there's all the games that are kind of like in the Souls things. The only one I haven't played is Sekiro. I haven't played that one.
I haven't either. I've watched the gameplay, like the walkthroughs on that.
It is what a lot of people consider like the hardest of these Souls games because it's so fast.
Yeah.
You have to be extremely like twitchy and fast.
Yeah. And I am not twitchy or
I'm
fast.
twitchy sometimes.
But not fast.
How fast?
Together we can beat Sekiro die twice.
We can get it.
Okay, good talk. So talk to me about what makes Dark Souls the series that it is. Why is it such a big deal?
It's because it's so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's like this game came out and like they didn't really tell you anything. There's no guides to it. You can kind of go any way you want to with it.
Yeah.
I mean, some bosses, some areas are easier than others, but you can just jump into any area and kind of good luck.
Yeah.
And it's the challenge. It's that unstated challenge where it's kind of like you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You can piece the story together kind of in them if you're really paying attention.
Right.
About what's happening in this greater world. And that's kind of what turned gamers on, where it's like, these bosses are hard.
Yeah.
I'm going to die.
Yeah.
You will die.
Yeah.
Like, I love that they when they remade, like, was it Demon Souls, they call it, like, You Will Die Edition or whatever. It's kind of like, yes.
You will die, edition.
Or was it Dark Souls 1? But it was one of those things, they remade it and they call it You Will Die.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, great. And I go, that's what I think turned gamers on, was this unforgiving, brutal nature of these games.
Yeah.
And like a lot of times it's like you get hit with something, you see little gauges pop up, and it's like, what is that?
Yeah. And
Nothing in the game tells you what it is.
Well, because we were talking earlier about like open world games, and you have to go like there's objectives, and there's like a map, and there's like you have to check this box. We're talking about Cyberpunk 2077, and it's like the map on Cyberpunk 2077 is nuts. There are so many side quests and so many things to do. You take that and you compare it to Elden Ring.
Yeah.
It is a blank space. There is nothing on that map. They don't even give you a tutorial. Like they give you a small, but they don't even tell you what to do when you get into that first level.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you're just like on your own, and you don't like. There's not a hey, you go here, or hey, here's this boss.
Oh,
Like,
those do exist in Elden Rings. Those little like the little wispy things that kind of point the golden path.
yeah.
That's kind of like the easiest path to follow.
Okay.
But you can go anywhere. Go do whatever. Go get murdered mercifully by the guy on the horse with the giant golden halberd.
Right.
Yeah, man.
That took me 35 tries, but I got it.
Well, and that's kind of what you talked about. Is like the Dark Souls series is hard.
Yes.
It is not forgiving at all.
And and it's one of those things. It's like you just, I don't know, like you can't let the frustration get to you. You got to keep plugging away at it.
Yeah.
Plugging away at it. Plugging. Even if it means you have to spend a couple hours just harvesting some souls up, and then get yourself all juiced up, and then go back in there and fight again. Because even just little like 5 levels or something can change a boss fight.
Yeah.
Suddenly, what you were struggling with became much easier.
Yeah, true.
So like how like because myself and Chris have talked about the grinding in games you have to do and how frustrating that is as a player.
Yeah.
Because you do all the work for not a lot of reward.
Oh yeah.
But in Elden Ring, it's a reward.
Yeah, and they make it a reward. It feels good when you tackle that guy that just killed you like 50 times. It's like, yes!
Yeah.
Eat that.
Because I'm a big fan of, like, I like it. Like, I know I can go grind forever and get really tough and come back and be like, haha, boss, stomp all over you.
Right.
But no, I like the challenge.
Yeah.
Where it's like, fine, I fought through your area, maybe I leveled up a little bit.
Yeah.
There's no real gauge to tell what level a boss is.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like fun to step in these boss fights. Like, all right, I have no idea what your moves are.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're going to throw at me.
Yeah.
When I don't know how many phases you have.
Yeah.
Because, like, your first thing, I could just roll out of the way and be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
And I got you. And then halfway point, you turn into some guy that you just swing constantly at me or start dropping magic stuff at me. And I'm like, okay, this fight is now way different.
Yeah.
I like that because it's like that bit of in the unknown. And you can tell which bosses they put even more moves sets into to make them way harder.
Yeah.
Like, I believe one of the bosses that's not a major boss, but
like a minor boss or whatever.
it's an optional boss.
Oh, okay.
But he's a huge dude. Apparently he has something like 150 move sets
Good
for you to fight
Lord.
through.
What?
Holy crap.
That's insanity.
That's a lot.
Well, and you like because Chris, we've played Dragon's Age, both of us, and the boss fights are not like you. There's a predictive pattern.
Yeah.
To how a
and
boss
you
will
can see it.
Yeah, you can count it out. You can go,
Yeah.
okay, he's gonna swing.
Yeah.
And I think to James's point, with the Dark Souls, especially with Elden Ring, I've watched gameplay walkthroughs, and the players are like, I didn't know you could do that. Wait, where is that coming from? How are you? How is that? I thought I had a pattern, and
that's the beautiful part.
Yeah.
Like when they make something that hard, that complicated, and then just kind of like throw you in there. Good luck.
Yeah.
Well, and like when you walk up the misty gates, kind of like, what's waiting on the other side?
Right. Do I want to go see what's on the other side?
Am I ready for this?
Right.
Like I'm gonna die.
Well, I mean, I usually approach my first couple go-throughs like I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm gonna figure you out while I'm dying, or it's like I'm not gonna make this easy on you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's that
Crazy.
And then all the different ways you can play the game is cool too, because sometimes playing the caster character makes some bosses so easy.
Yeah.
It's cake.
Yeah.
And then other times you're like, I would say like in Souls games, usually playing the melee characters is the harder way of tackling it.
Yeah.
Because you have to get right up to them.
Yeah.
And that's an uncomfortable area to be in any Souls game is right up next to that boss.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, a lot of the casters, depending on the different versions of it, have it easier where they can just kind of stand back and be like, poo, 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 and
Yeah.
shoot the boss down and be like, yay.
Yeah.
But then also, it's like I said, depending on the Souls version, some the magic's weaker or whatever. Elden Ring seems more balanced.
Yeah.
And a lot of the higher hitting spells have costs or freeze you in place for a little bit. But that boss can run over and punch you in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and so, Chris, have you played any what's the last Assassin's Creed game you played?
Oh my goodness, I don't even know how long ago it's been.
But like with Assassin's
It's been
Creed,
a long time ago.
when you come up on like a base or something like that, you can watch the movement of the enemies.
They have patterns.
They have
right? You
patterns,
can
like
see
Yeah.
the
yeah,
pattern,
and so like they go. But so for me, when I start playing Elden Ring, I have not played I've watched Dark Souls gameplays,
Okay.
and it makes me sad.
it looks
Okay.
hard.
Oh my gosh, I would
really
just be like, why would you play a game like this? Are you?
Oh, God. It's so good.
It's the best kind of pain.
Yeah.
Yes. Because you learn.
Yeah.
You do, yeah.
Well, and we were talking about that earlier with game design and game management and how games create and how the reward for players. Like, is the reward worth it? Is what I'm
Yeah.
going to grind or what I'm going to do, is there a payoff? And our opinion that we came to a conclusion of is that a majority of games that we've played or experienced or seen, it's not worth it anymore. There's not a payoff that's worth, like, you don't earn it because you're just grinding to get the next level or the next thing, and there's not a reason for it.
Yep.
But with Souls games, and especially with Elden Ring, it sounds like, and what I've played is, you have to go earn, because they're called Souls, but there's also like runes or whatever they're called.
Yeah, it's basically what in Elden Ring they call them the runes.
Yeah.
It's just their version of souls.
Yeah. And so you collect them. The more you get, the stronger you are.
Yeah.
The more weapons you collect, the more stuff you're able to buy,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
And you can grind,
Yeah.
but that's not the point of the game.
Well,
and they kind of don't really make it that point either,
Yeah.
because like the exponential growth of the costs of things
Yeah.
makes so that grinding becomes, you don't want to do that.
Right.
It's better to actually just keep trying to fight the bosses and kill them and progress further that way.
Yeah.
Probably faster growth.
Oh yeah, it's much faster to
Yeah,
fight those bosses.
Yeah.
I mean, some guys like I'm jealous of the guys that can run around with like they have the level 1 club
Yeah,
and
yeah.
are buck naked
Right.
and can dodge every boss move
Right.
and kill the boss. And I'm just
Right.
kind of like, I can't do that.
Well, to your point about the grinding, like what's interesting, and my goal during spring break is to play more of Elden Ring because it's just the environment
You should.
is brilliant. And this was mentioned by a reviewer is that every single area of the game is different.
Oh, yep.
And the rules don't transfer. Kind of what we talked about in one of the episodes where you go from like like in a Dragon Age game, right? You
Yep.
go from the swamps, you go to the city. The rules and the battle mechanics are the same. Everything operates in a similar fashion. It's just a different environment, different culture, different world, different colors, different design. In Elden Ring, the things change from place to place. There are no set rules
That's cool.
that follow you. You have to then adapt and figure out, okay, what's here that I have to do now
Yeah.
to make sure that I can face whatever minor boss or major boss or in-between boss.
And some, like I'd say mostly it's minor changes
Yeah.
versus doing a whole overhaul of your character.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
never think you have to do that in a Souls game. No,
Right.
no. I mean, some areas will be harder than others, but it's
Yeah.
just minor changes or figuring out the mechanic that works best in that area.
Yeah.
Like in Dark Souls,
Yeah.
they have the swamp area where everything and its mother poisons you or toxins you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you just need to figure out the workarounds that help you get through that area.
Yeah.
Which in my case was kind of like dashing like a madman through the whole thing, going up to the spider lady boss and being like, I'm never coming back here. We're doing this fight right now.
Right.
And I kept doing that until I killed her way under leveled.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I hate this area
Yeah.
so bad. Even though I knew, because in the Souls games, everything you need is around you.
Yeah.
A lot of it is just you looking for it.
Yeah.
Go find it. It is there.
Because it's not identified on the map.
Yeah.
There's no like, oh, here's an objective. You need to go here.
Like that's the encouragement of go explore.
Yeah.
Go look. It's out there. Even in because Dark Souls 1 is really, really small compared to Elden Ring. Elden Ring
Yeah.
is monstrous.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like that open world kind of thing. Go poke around. Go look in the other areas you didn't look before. You will find the stuff that's because like the anti-toxin, anti-poison suit is there. You can go find it.
Right. You just got to get over there.
Yeah.
So Chris, have you played Zelda Call of the Wild?
No.
Breath of the Wild.
I won't.
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild. No, I haven't. I want to though.
I've watched videos of it, and
Yeah.
the comparison I think with Elden Ring is appropriate because
Oh.
you look at how expansive Breath of the Wild is,
Mm-hmm.
and are there objectives on Breath of the Wild, or is it more like Elden Ring where you have to find it or you search for it? I'm trying to remember.
They kind of did a bunch of both, where there is kind of like a path you
Yeah.
should need to take to do the main story.
Yeah.
But there is so much extra out there that is just there for you to go explore.
Yeah.
You can go play that game any way you want.
Yeah.
But to follow the main story, you do have to do kind of like a checklist of stuff
Okay.
to move through that.
So that might be a game for us to check out down the road.
You
and
should.
to-
The game is gorgeous.
between
on
that
top
and
of
Elden
it.
Ring to draw some comparisons because
Yeah.
reviews have mentioned that it is a very Breath of the Wild feeling game in how you travel through and experience it.
It's just everything can kill you.
Yes. Everything
will.
wants to kill. Yeah, and will not hesitate to kill you. So there you go. So what is it? So what is kind of the final thought on why people should play Elden Ring? Because as a guy who has never played Dark Souls, any of Sekiro, I haven't played any of it, and I got into it, and I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I use trainers sometimes because I'm not competitive. I know that's sacrilege, but there you have it. But like,
See, I like going into them blind. I don't want to know
yeah,
because I know it's out there.
Yeah.
Because the challenge is there.
yeah. I don't know.
It's that unstated challenge. It's kind
Yeah.
of like, boom, everything's here
Yeah,
for you in this game.
yeah.
But you need to be the one to go find it. I'm not going to hold your hand. In fact, I'm going to slap you in the face.
Beat you.
That's the game.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, but if you do things right, it is a
Yeah.
fantastic, glorious experience where you feel, even though after like defeat to defeat to defeat, and sometimes
yeah,
you just, I'm going to put this game aside for
Yeah,
a day and come
yeah.
back to it.
Yeah.
And then when you went through, it feels so good.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like,
Oh,
I just
remember.
took over this mountain
Yeah.
and now I feel amazing because I did it.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
And then I figured out this mechanics and, I did it. And then you get to the end and you find out it's like, wait, there's 6 different endings I need to do plus this? What?
Let's go back.
And I just picked the worst one
Right.
because I agreed with the creepy dude?
Right.
Or like the beautiful woman was the wrong ending? Oh,
Right.
no.
Yeah, dang it.
There's the princess here is a bad person.
Right. Well, and I think we were talking about game design and how a lot of companies get it. Like there are a lot of Japanese companies that put together incredible storylines
Yeah, they
and
do.
just legit do
Yeah.
the greatest work in the gaming world because they care about the story, because they care about what
Yeah.
the product they're putting forth versus American companies, for the most part, it feels like just don't. They just don't care at
Yeah.
all.
And like and people always kind of used to be that gimmick where it's like, there's no story in the Dark Souls games. You're just doing it. It's like, no. If you actually take the time and read those little equipment things.
Yeah.
Listen to the little hints that people are saying along with reading those equipment.
Yeah.
This story is deep in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just don't make it that big of a
Right.
thing because you are kind of like the random dude that's like thrown into all this
Yeah.
stuff that's happened
Right.
before you were around.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like you putting that puzzle together along with all those other challenges.
Yep.
So that's part of it is just kind of like, go read that. Go
Yeah.
pay attention to that.
Yeah.
That thing that guy's saying right there, like that turtle with the Pope hat on, that's
Yeah.
really important.
Yeah.
Even though it looks really goofy,
Right.
listen to him.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing with a lot of games
Sounds
is
cool.
they spoon feed it to you. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you got to do this checkpoint, you got to do this whatever, and it's like,
Yep.
Elden Ring is like, nope, no checkpoints. You're on your own, dude. Best of luck. Enjoy the ride.
I gotta buy this game.
I mean, it's
We've
what you
con-
need to do. Just
we've-
go enjoy the ride.
We've convinced Chris to buy the game. So there you go.
Maybe.
Maybe.
He's been dancing on
It's
maybe for like a
$60,
week and a
man.
half.
I mean,
know.
that's the thing is too is like I don't really like the price, but I kind of like sucked it up because I know I enjoy Souls games.
Yeah.
And I will say it's like for all you out there, Elden Ring is a good enter into the
Yeah.
Souls game types world because it is the easiest.
Yeah.
It does more holy hand than the other ones.
Well, and what they talked about is that when they made it open world, they made it more accessible.
Yeah, they're trying to do that because it's like they knew the challenges were still there for the hard players, but it's also kind of like we kind of opened it up to get new players into
Yep.
this type of game
Yeah.
style. And maybe you can go back
good.
and look at the other ones, which are way harder.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of weird. It's like if you look at the games, it's kind of like Elden Ring's easiest, Dark Souls 2's, Dark Souls 3. I mean, is like the next one that's kind of easy.
Yeah.
And then they get more difficult as you go back in time.
Yeah. Which is interesting.
Man, that's weird.
Yeah, but that's from Software, and they make incredible games, incredible stories. So there you go. If you're listening out there and you're wondering what kind of game should I invest in stories that matter, and invest in games and game companies that are intentional about making you work for it.
Yes,
Yes.
challenge you.
Yeah,
Yes.
they push you to the edge and say, now you got to figure yourself out.
It's kind of the point.
Yeah. We don't. I play games to be entertained, but I also play games to be challenged.
Yeah.
How am I going to get out of this? What am I going to do? What's my decision going to be? Which way am I going to go?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which direction will I go? And that direction can determine what kind of an ending you get.
Yeah, exactly. Be careful who you agree with.
Yeah. Because the impact
Not
of
the
that.
pretty lady.
Yeah. Or the happy smiling worm is not necessarily the good guy.
Yeah.
You know.
There you go. So there's your quick run through of Elden Ring and what you should be doing, and you should be picking it up. It's definitely worth your time. All right. Any last thoughts on games in general from either of you?
Final Fantasy X's good.
Okay.
I played that one a lot.
James?
I bought Jedi Fallen Order, and I still haven't gotten into it yet. It's still sitting there.
Oh.
No.
It's so good. I have not played it, but I've watched playthroughs, and it is
Looks good.
incredible.
Looks really
Like the
good.
story is really solid.
Mm-hmm.
Like they definitely put some work into that.
That's about it. I haven't really jumped into that yet.
Okay.
But I blame Elden Ring now. It's that game's fault.
Okay. The blame is on Elden Ring,
That must be a good game.
and that you need to buy.
Well, I mean, I'm a Star Wars fan, and I'm just kind of like, Elden Ring's so good.
Man, that's crazy. It's that good.
It has pushed his Star Wars fandom out to the back porch where it's sitting in the cold, waiting for him to come and take it in.
Yeah, I
again.
know, and I definitely need to play it before Kenobi comes out because they're doing a lot of stuff
no.
with in the Jedi. Like it's kind of like cool to see that. Okay, the
Yeah.
stuff from this game is canon.
Yeah.
Because there's little things like the Nur base where like the Jedi Inquisitors hang out,
Yeah.
like that they showed it in the trailer for Kenobi. You see it in that base with all the water around it.
Yeah.
That's in the game
Huh.
of Jedi Fallen Order.
Interesting.
And a lot of the stuff with the Inquisitors and the different
Yeah.
sisters and
Yeah.
stuff, that's in the game.
and also in the
And now it's taking place. And now you get to see it kind of like out in the
so what
real
James
world.
so what James is talking about, this episode will hit after the trailer has hit, but the trailer for Obi-Wan Kenobi the series,
the teaser is
the
out.
teaser
Yeah.
for the limited series that's going to be happening on Disney Plus came out this last week, like Thursday or Friday, and it is the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. It is Ewan McGregor returning to
Come
the
on.
role.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
come on.
what people are hoping for.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that trailer for a second. So it's a couple moments that have routinely shown up on my timeline that people are just upset. Like they're not upset, but they're like, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing?" So there's a scene where Obi-Wan Kenobi is watching over Luke at Aunt Beru's and Uncle, what's his name?
Uncle Owen.
Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, and they show Anakin Skywalker sitting on like the lip of one of the homes.
You mean Luke?
Luke, sorry. Yeah, Luke. Gosh, dang it. Sorry. Luke sitting on one of the like tops of the houses pretending to be a pod racer.
Yep.
Anakin was a pod racer.
He was.
And so the idea is I am like the meme comment is I'm a pod racer just like my father.
Yeah.
He's not actually saying that. But the tie-in there is like
pretty cool.
oh, and like people were like this is made like people are overreacting like this has made me cry for hours. I'm like
Yeah, that's overreaction.
yeah, but it is an emotional moment because the Ewan McGregor, he's the guy that was with like that connective tissue character-wise, the same actor, the same guy saw Anakin like that's the part I'm waiting for in this series is that we have such a solid actor in Ewan McGregor.
Yep.
Yes.
Dude can act his way out of a paper bag. Man is legit. If there was anybody who could ever play the role that Sir Alec Guinness played, it's definitely Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to see, because like you said, like I watched playthroughs of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and the sisters were in there and the Inquisitors, and people were like, "Whoa, this is weird. What are these things? Who are these people?" And so it's really cool to see that in the trailer to go, "Oh, they're real."
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, they are in like Rebels and stuff. So they do exist there.
Yeah.
But it's like to see them is like, okay, they're real. A chunk of them are hunting Kenobi.
Yeah.
Or another Jedi too, because
Yeah.
like they're kind of like talking the little speech that you get from the Grand Inquisitor, I think is what they call him.
Yeah.
He's kind of talking about Jedi in general. So it's
Yeah.
like, are we going to see other Jedi get hunted while
Right.
Obi-Wan's just kind of sitting on that planet,
Right.
agonizing over it?
Right.
It's like, what's
Or-
going to be the catalyst is going to
Right.
push? Because you couldn't have this series without Kenobi doing something.
Yeah.
So like, what is going to push him off planet
Right.
to go look elsewhere or do something else in the
Yeah.
greater scenes of things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing is like we're getting back, and that they hinted in that trailer, but we know is coming back because we've seen the cast list and everything.
Yeah.
Darth Vader's back.
Yes.
He's going to show up in this series
Yes.
somewhere.
Yeah.
But In what capacity?
We don't know.
And that's like the big like thing where other people are like, "What's going on?"
So the thing about that is, in canon, Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi, as far as we know, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, they didn't see each other. Haven't seen in the films. The last time Ewan McGregor sees Darth Vader is when he burns himself to death on the planet.
And he's
when he roasts Anakin.
Right,
yeah.
roast Anakin.
roast him. That's a good
Literal and metaphorical.
Yeah,
roasting. I have the high ground.
Yeah.
And then the next time that Obi-Wan Kenobi, at least as far as I know, sees him is A New Hope.
So far in the established canon,
that's it.
That is true.
So the question
now, question is Disney going to change the canon in this series and have them have a meetup before that time?
How do we feel about that?
And I don't know how to feel about that. I would say it depends on how they do it.
That's the fact. Yeah. How they do it.
Well, because the power. So here's the deal: the power as a literature teacher, as a storyteller, right? The power, the now power of that moment when Anakin and Obi-Wan meet in the Death Star. That moment is magnified by the story we now have more of.
Yeah.
We have the story of Obi-Wan, and we're going to have this. So the danger I feel is the weight of that moment of them being reunited is now we know everything. Now we know where they've been and what they've done. That moment means so much more than it did when it originally aired.
Oh, true, yeah.
And I worry, and I hope against hope that Disney doesn't try and mess that up.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be, oh, well, I haven't seen your father in this many years. You want that line. You want that absence.
Well, I mean, because the thing is, it could be one of those things where it's like we know he gave Annie the chop.
Yeah.
And then left him there to roast.
Yep.
He doesn't really know the outcome of what happened there.
Yeah.
He does it.
So is this where we're going to have like the middle encounter where that's when Obi-Wan figures out, is like, whoa.
He's now Darth Vader or whatever.
That dark metal dude that I just fought or just saw, that's Anakin. No.
Because here's the thing is that Darth Vader can sense Luke Skywalker in Return of the Jedi.
He does, yeah.
He senses him. He senses Obi-Wan. Yeah. And he says, I have sensed a presence I have not sensed in quite some time.
Yeah, but we don't know what that means by quite some time.
Yeah, well,
it could be 13 years.
Yeah.
Because we see young Luke out there playing on the thing. He could be 6-7 years old.
Good, yeah.
And then and Obi-Wan and Darth Vader have their fight or whatever. And then 13 years later.
Right. I think so prequels in my mind, we can have a discussion in detail, but the prequels made me mad. And they need to be redone. And they've been, people on YouTube have made up ideas of how the...
And cuts and stuff.
Yeah, and prequels could have been redone and rewritten and all that stuff. My worry is, the power of the last moment that he sees Anakin is he sees, that is a dark moment for both Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
And to take that away, I don't know.
Well, I mean, he doesn't really see how far Anakin goes.
Yeah, that's true.
Because then, you have in the time afterwards is kind of like this story thing where they've done a bunch of stuff in it. Where Anakin, once he dons that armor, when he leaves that room with Palpatine after they have that brief little shove and slap fight with the Force. Yeah. Because you see him scream no, and he throws everybody to the side, whatever. He actually has a fight there with Palpatine with the Force.
Okay. Yeah.
Where Palpatine beats him into the ground and says, "You'll never touch me like that."
Where is that at?
It's in the canon comic books.
Oh.
So it's
So here's the thing. How much more fun would that movie have made and been if that had been the way that movie ended?
Yeah.
Think about it for a second.
So it sets up after that thing, after they have that encounter, because Anakin freaks out and does that, no, and he starts crushing everything, and he throws everything away from him too. He throws Palpatine.
Everyone makes fun of
because Palpatine doesn't just stand there and laugh. He gets thrown, and then Palpatine comes back, and then just kind of squishes him. Yeah. And he's just like, "You'll never touch me with the Force like that again." Yeah. And that kind of sets their dynamic where they're kind of they work together, but they're against each other. Yeah. So that's why they have that kind of animosity built up there.
Okay.
But then they still work with each other because they know each other and whatever. And from that point, it's Anakin sets off across the galaxy and starts wiping out Jedi, wiping out other forces, and killing people. And that's where the kind of the legacy of Darth Vader being this unstoppable force of just darkness.
Yeah.
is built up.
Yeah.
Him in the 501st, which is Vader's fist, which
Yeah,
is his
yeah.
legion, which
Yeah.
is mostly clones at the time. I think it eventually becomes more human, but whatever.
Yeah.
But they just go and just start wiping people. All the other Jedi just dying
Yeah.
left and right because Anakin's hunting them all.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like we never see Obi-Wan face that down.
No, that's true.
No, we don't.
So it could be an epic moment where he sees like, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, you were dark and I thought you died.
Right.
This is what you are now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then like because obviously they split, so
Yeah.
they whatever happens between them at that
Yeah.
moment, they split and they go their separate ways.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan basically becomes like yeah, he watches over Luke to finish that up
Yeah.
because of the prophecy what they believe in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's mega depressed
Yeah.
and suffering from like PTSD
Yeah.
because like I'd basically failed everyone.
Yeah.
He roasted his student.
Yeah.
Like he failed his student.
Yeah.
He feels he failed the Jedi
Right.
He did. Yeah.
at large.
You know
and
what-
the only thing he can do is hang on to Luke.
You know
That's
what?
it.
You know what I want to see, and this is purely from the standpoint of a fan and nostalgia. I want Obi-Wan and Yoda. I want that to happen.
Like a meeting between them?
I want
I don't
Obi-Wan.
think they would do
I want
That'd be
Obi-Wan.
cool.
I want Obi-Wan to find Yoda.
That'd be cool.
I want him to be like Master, like I've searched long and hard, and for Yoda to be like, I cannot teach you no, like we are adrift. The Jedi are gone. The prophets, our strength is drained. We must wait for the return of another, and that leads to the question of Luke being the next. And I mean, again, nostalgia. I know it sounds a little weird.
I don't think they will do that, go that far, and have Yoda thrown in there.
I
I don't think
know.
they will.
I think it'd be just fun.
It'd be cool if it did.
Because we see Yoda retire obviously to Dagobah
Yeah.
Yep.
at the end of the prequels.
Yep.
Yep.
But we don't, and we see him again in the new Star Wars movies
Yep.
with
Yep.
Luke, but we don't see him. I wish and I wonder if there was to be one final conversation, because Obi-Wan never meets back up with Yoda as far as we know.
No.
And I know it's nostalgia, forgive me.
Yeah, it's
But it
okay.
would just be cool to just like have that, because then it would, that moment where Yoda and Obi-Wan are in the forest, and Yoda says, "No, there is another." Like that moment would just be so much cooler. It's cool all the same. I love it anyway. But it's
Would
just
be
like
cool, yeah.
this is the Star Wars fan in me coming out and going, "Oh, I want to see Yoda and
Yeah.
I want to.
I don't think we'll get that.
Well,
But I mean, it's kind of. Have you watched Clone Wars
no, I
and
need to.
Rebels?
I need to.
You should.
Okay.
Like-
Yes, sir.
I think it's one of those things. Like if you really want to grasp the character of
Yeah.
Kenobi,
Yeah.
you should everybody
Yeah.
watch
Yeah.
the Clone Wars from front to end.
Yeah.
Because you see, like, Obi-Wan throughout all this darkness that keeps happening and happening and happening. A lot of bad stuff happens.
Yeah.
He still maintains, like, the code. He still remains, like, a good man.
Yeah.
Just trying his best to
Right.
bring about the best possibilities of everything around him.
Yeah.
And, like, everything just keeps going wrong and
Yeah.
wrong and wrong.
Yeah.
But he still trucks on. He loses, like, the love of his life.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other stuff happens
Oh,
to him,
yeah.
but he still maintains
Yeah.
being that good man, that good Jedi,
Yeah.
all the way to the end. So it's kind of like all that stuff has to be packed into the Kenobi we're about to see,
Yeah.
where it's kind of like he just feels despair
Yeah.
because he also doesn't know which way Luke will go.
Yeah. True.
Okay. That's fair.
That's true.
So it's one of those things like, so he's just watching over this child, which he knows has like massive
Yeah.
force potential.
Yeah.
Because like Luke is, well, until they invented Rey,
Yeah.
Luke was the ultimate
Yeah.
force
Yeah.
user.
He's the prophecy.
Yeah, he was the prophecy.
The second prophecy. to
Yeah,
bring-
it's Prophecy Prophecies one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like he's watching over this boy, going like, everything that I put into you,
Yeah.
what will come of it? Because everything else I've done before has failed.
Right. It's come to ruin.
Yeah.
And that's, I think exploring that would be a very interesting conversation. Because if you're faced with everything, like you said, everything I've done has gone wrong, nothing's working. Like what?
And then at your end,
Yeah.
when you're facing down, like in the Death Star, when he's facing down Darth Vader, and he's like,
Yeah.
he knows he can't win that fight.
Yeah.
But when he sees Luke, you can see him just kind of like, he has hope there.
yeah.
He sees the
Yeah.
two twins together
Yeah.
because he knows who Leia is.
Yeah. He knows.
And he feels hope there enough to just be like, let go.
Yeah.
And he just lets go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's kind of like, all right, so in this little thing that we're going to get with Kenobi,
Yeah.
because like they're long episodes,
Yeah.
each one of them. I think it's only 6 though. So it's like I'm kind of like, how much are you going to pack into them?
Yeah.
What are we going to get? Like
Yeah.
I want to know like this character that has so much depth to him, of
Yeah.
trying to be the good man in a universe that just seems stacked against you.
Yeah.
What will we see? Will we see some moments of him being that good man?
Yeah.
Like out of being like hiding in the desert,
Right.
feeling powerless and just depressed.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you do get little clips of him where he just has his head kind of like hanging down,
Yeah.
and just feels like you can see it, like he looks crushed.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, whoa.
Yeah.
So that's why I always found like when they started unveiling more of like Kenobi's backstory and the things going into him, I was like, this is a more fascinating character than people think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, what would it take
Yeah.
for a good man just to weather all the things he did and still remain the good man?
Right. Well, and that's the conversation to slowly but surely land the plane that we're on, which is a delightful plane. And there
Hey, I'm sorry, like we
it,
kind of
no,
went
it's
off
good.
track.
This is
good
well, because
plane,
here's the
man.
thing. So this naturally leads into a conversation, a brief conversation about what happens with Luke in the new Star Wars.
Yeah.
So, I'm hoping that they will keep Obi-Wan Kenobi as a strong, that he won't give up, that he won't
Yeah.
follow the path of Luke.
Yep.
What I think is heartbreaking is they had the possibility of making Luke still the hero, still the guy who was unfazed, unstoppable,
The good man.
the good
Yeah,
man.
the good
Yeah.
man,
But they chose, no, sorry, Luke quit. He gave up and he went away.
Yeah,
He took his ball and went to the far reaches of the galaxy because his feelings got hurtsies and he got upsetted and he had to go have a tantrum somewhere.
Ugh.
Like you look at that and you look at the past. So I wonder if that's the way that they bring some redemption to that whole piece, is they show, and God hope they do, show Obi-Wan being the like having his setbacks, losing but still fighting to remain the hope, fighting to remain where he should be as the Jedi, and not to give up, not to surrender, not to walk away, not to be despondent and flee, but to do what he can to save what he can from what's left of the Jedi Order, which at the end of it obviously is going to be him and Luke and Yoda, and that's it.
Not very many.
And
Oh no, there are other Jedi out there.
right,
Canonly now.
yes,
Because we know from the game, because they're bringing that into the world.
yeah,
Cal Kestis, the Jedi that you play in Fallen Order.
yeah,
He's still alive out there.
okay,
So where's he?
that's interesting.
So that's one of those things, like they opened up a big can of kind of like question marks of like,
Yeah.
where are these characters? Or
Yeah.
there's characters from Rebels that
Yeah.
we do know exist.
Yeah.
Like Ezra.
yeah,
Where are you, Ezra?
right.
And
and
he's a Jedi.
is it Ashaka or Ashoka?
Ashoka, yeah.
And
she's still alive. We know
Yep.
she's kicking around.
Right, and she showed up in Mandalorian
Yep.
or Boba Fett or whatever.
Yeah, it's Mandalorian, yeah.
Yeah, Mandalorian. So, like, this is the part of Star Wars I love because they're getting it right. But it's funny that it takes the TV series shows for them
Yeah,
to
I
get
know,
Star
right?
Wars right. They couldn't
Exactly.
get it right in the movies.
Yeah.
But they,
Those multi-billion-dollar productions, they flushed them down the toilet.
yeah, yeah.
They just suck.
Which I mean, we need to tear those apart in Nerds by Screenlight.
Well, and
but
Chris, I suspect you'd be interested if you want to sit down and when that episode happens in the future, because we
I
have
love Star Wars.
it is
Yeah.
so for like I'm a Star Trek fan first. I was
Yep.
always a Trekkie,
Mm-hmm.
no questions asked. Star Wars came after, but it like there's such good stories.
oh
They are.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
the characters are hopeful. That there is, at least in the movies that worked and functioned, like there's a unique spirit of hope and of drive and of the rebel. Like there's just something special about those characters because they life sucks. They get things thrown at them. They lose. But they find ways to keep fighting.
that was like the brilliant of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Where it's like you had that great win at the first one.
Yeah.
But then the second one throws you into it and realize like that win
Yeah. Comes
was
at a cost.
nothing in the long
Yeah.
run.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Nothing.
Emperor's got everybody still on the back foot chasing them across the galaxy.
Yeah.
And then you see like at the end of that second movie, it's like you're in a dark place.
Yeah.
The good guy's lost.
Yeah. And now,
what was this?
And where do we go from here? And how do they get out of it?
And then you get that brilliant rise, and that whole last movie is just this great rising action that comes up to like their final confrontations,
where Vader tosses the Emperor, like his mentor, his leader, tosses him because he's watching his son die.
Yeah,
watching his son be.
That was beautiful.
Well, it's because Luke figured it out where others couldn't.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, there's still a core of good man left in there.
Anakin, the father.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
Which is funny when you get emotional talking about this, like, because the storyline of that is you know that Anakin is still in there because you've seen elements of him in the original movies, and when that moment happens when Luke is being electrified to death, that Vader turns, and he does it like once or twice. He turns and he looks at the Emperor, looks at his son, looks at the Emperor,
and then goes,
and then he just moves. And it's not a hesitation. It's a okay. And in that moment, you know that Vader knows he's dead. Like, there's no way Vader survives this because the Emperor, the electricity will transfer to him, and he's already been beat. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
But the beauty of that moment, and what I love, is when he gets into the shuttle bay, and he gets the mask, and Anakin says, "I want to look upon you with my own my own eyes." And a mask comes off, and you're just like, and he's so monstrous, but but he's like, "I wanted to see you, and I care, and I'm like, you're right, I changed, and tell your sister whatever," and like all these things, you're just like, this is story writing. This is the moment we were waiting for. We have been waiting 3 movies to get this moment, and yes, Vader dies, burns on a funeral pyre. But we know now that his son and him have reconciled, and that there is hope, and that this Luke Skywalker can lead and can fight and can do what he needs to do. And then what do they do with him?
They flush him down the toilet
with blue milk.
Like this forgiving, good character. Like that was the core of Luke. Was like he is much like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
This is a good man.
Yep.
But Luke has a chance to like affect everything. Yep. With that goodness.
And then they just throw him onto a random planet and have Rey go chase him down because Rey's the future.
And they flush it all down the toilet, and it made me so upset.
Yep.
Like I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Like you could have any other ways, you could bazillion different ways you could write why Luke wasn't involved in the start of all that stuff.
Yeah.
Could have figured it out. But you didn't. Well, because what they could have done is
they didn't bother to think about it.
Well, they could have said like, "Hey, he went in search of the ancient Jedi temple."
Yeah.
Because there's not many Jedi left, and he needed to find whatever. And then Rey goes, and they say he was supposed to be back a week ago. He hasn't returned. We have a rough estimate of where he went. And then you could have Rey go track him down and search for MacGuffins, whatever, that lead him to him. And maybe she finds him, and he's trapped, or something has happened.
Yeah.
Where they have to work together to get out. And they escape, and he lives, and they get she takes the Millennium Falcon, and Han Solo comes with her, and he's like, "Well, if you're going to find Luke, I'm coming with you."
Cool.
And Luke's my friend, he's my buddy. We're going with you. Let's go. And they put the crew, the new and the old crew together to go find him. You put Poe on the ship.
Yeah.
You put Finn on the ship.
Better transition, right?
And they find Luke, and he's been fighting somebody for ages, and he's losing strength. And they all show up, and he's about to be struck down, and Rey grabs a lightsaber and is able to, with Luke's guidance and force coaching, I'm going to help you because you don't want someone who's all powerful. Luke helps her, and she says, "How did I do that?" He says, I partnered with you in the Force. I joined you in the battle. We managed together."
Yeah.
And she's like, "You're Luke Skywalker. You're whatever.
We need you.
We need you." And he says, "I know. I have what we need. Let us begin." And it's like something that reveals the truth about the Emperor, or I don't know. But then they
I'd pay to watch that.
I just came up with it on my own, sitting here.
I mean, and it's one of those things. And that's as simple as it was, right there.
Yeah.
You don't Snoke, this really super powerful bad guy.
Right.
They just kind of wiped him off the board too. It's
Right.
kind of okay, what was that?
Right.
And then you just immediately roll back over, and the Emperor's still alive. He's a clone man. Which, if you'd have just gone with Emperor cloned himself in his back, and he's really angry from the start, perfect.
Yeah, better series than you could ever imagined. Because then then Luke has skin in the game.
Yeah.
This is the man that his father killed supposedly, but now
Yeah.
he has to face again somehow. But now Luke's not alone. He's got Kylo. He's got whatever. And you figure out Kylo's dynamic and you figure out Rey's dynamic.
Yep.
You do it and just like
Which
it's
having
not-
Kylo be bad,
Yeah.
that was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Make a bad solo whatever character,
Yeah.
but don't do it the way you did.
Yeah.
That was dumb.
Yeah.
To think that Luke would even do that
Yeah.
is
Asinine.
yeah.
There's a lot of words for it.
It's abomination.
It is.
Yeah, abomination.
Congratulations, Star Wars. You've ruined it. But the TV shows are amazing. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I think we've beaten the dead horse for as long as and as much as we can. We'll have to bury him.
Unless
in-
we just keep going further and further, bro. That's like, I came here prepped for Star Trek, not Star Wars. I didn't even come here thinking about Elden Ring. I was
And here we are, 44 minutes later. All right. Well, this has been an adventure and excitement.
Yeah,
We
it
have
has.
taken the two nerd groups, the two nerd podcasts, slammed them together, and mixed them up in a nice, ready stew. So I hope you enjoyed your meal. Tip your waitresses on your way out. And my name is Aaron.
My name's Chris.
and I'm James.
And this has been, we need to come like the Nerds Roundtable or the Roundtable of Nerds.
Or something like that.
We'll come up with an idea for what this show will be called because I suspect the reuniting of this group will occur again because it has
yes.
been entertaining
It's been good.
to the max. We will catch you on the next one. Thanks for listening. We will see you next time.